What if time is just consciousness squeezed into our dimension? Let me explain. So there's been evidence of negative time found in quantum physics experiments recently. Basically, in their experiment, a photon looked like it exited the medium before entering it, which suggested a reversal or a manipulation of conventional time flow. Here's the thing, they don't think that it actually had an impact on our understanding of time itself, but I think they're wrong, which I'm about to tell you why. And you're like, why? Basically, the behavior observed here was a quantum mechanical effect tied to how light interacts with absorptive media. It relates to something called group delay, which is a property of wave packets traveling through certain materials. So as it's almost traveling through this material, this delay mathematically can result in negative time. But it does not violate causality because it's really just a delay. So this article is like baiting you here, but this article has very intriguing implications for how we experience and interpret time. Just like this time is passing through a solid causing negative time because of the delay, let's just say that our universe is kind of the same way. And there's some type of delay, which leaves a whole nother side of the universe that has to do with negative time. Or maybe it's another side of the universe, which I would call this fourth dimensional space, where time is more expanded, where it's past, present, and future at the same time. And there's a delay getting to this reality because of some barrier where our consciousness is here experiencing life in a linear way. For instance, think of a phenomena of slowing down time during danger when you get into an accident, or when time speeds up when you're having fun. Time flies when you're having fun. That shows that time is also connected to perception, which I think is more fourth dimensional based. And if you look at my other videos, this fourth dimension is the realm of emotions. It's past, present, and future all together. It's the realm of dreams. It's where our consciousness is interacting on a more illogical level, which is emotional. This is probably the realm where people get precognition, intuitions. And listen, this can all be changed. Nothing is set in stone up there. But I do think that this explains a lot. So if our consciousness can stretch or compress time, is time consciousness? Is time a construct of our consciousness? I know I'm not the first to think this, but if time is a more fluid construct that is modifiable by higher dimensional influences, it might appear negative or reversed in its dimension. But let's think nonlinear for a second. So let's say this fourth dimensional space, which is being squeezed into this fourth dimensional space, which is being squeezed into our three-dimensional reality. And along with that, consciousness and time is squeezed into our three-dimensional reality, making it more linear or compressed. When we think of backward time, or what some people call backward electrons or positrons, maybe it's not even really backwards. Maybe it's just us experiencing time backwards because we're accessing that fourth dimensional space of past, present, and future all at once. This can also hint to a philosophical thing I love of our most powerful self is our present self, not our future or past. All you have is this moment. In this moment, you can change that fourth dimensional space with your emotions, with your choices, and that can literally change your future. Everything in this fourth dimensional space is potential. Nothing is set in stone, including your future or your past, which is weird. And what we might experience is backward time or intuitional impulses or premonitions from these positrons emitting hypothetical antiphotons, or really just these electron wormholes, which I'd like to call them. Or plasma, which has electrons. Okay, sorry. I went on a huge tangent there. Oh, but from this space, we might just be tapping into this higher dimensional space where we're accessing this timeless part of our consciousness, higher consciousness. So if consciousness is squeezed into our third dimension and comes through as one way comes through as time. So time dilation, Einstein said, was time shrinking or stretching. The faster you move or get closer to a massive object, the slower time will flow for you. If someone's further away, that object is moving faster. I think this has to do with psychological focus. The more focused you are, the more in flow you are, the slower time goes. It almost stretches and you get more done, which is how very successful people live their life. But also, time can feel fast when you're having fun. This might actually mean you're psychologically further away as you're having a higher perspective or you're in a more expanded state. Anyway, there's so many ways to look at time and consciousness. Basically, when you're meditating, when you're dreaming, when you're in deep thought, your consciousness might be in this more expanded consciousness where time is not linear. Negative time might just be an expanded time that we're viewing as negative because it's moving through this reality slower because it's more dense than a more fluid fourth dimension, which is taking it back to this. It is more material, it is more dense. With that said, I think there's a way to hack into it, which lends itself to us being in a holographic universe, which is to learn how to expand our consciousness, how to get in a state of what I would call plasma intelligence or shamanic intelligence or indigenous wisdom, how to almost connect our consciousness with this higher state, which we've all done at times. Basically, time is not fixed, it's shaped by our consciousness, and you can hack into higher consciousness states with some training. And our universe is not just science, it is philosophy, it is metaphysics, it is psychology, it is all of those, and we need to encompass them with everything we think of.